Okay, today our equations, or a lot of them, are going to have variables on both sides of the equal sign, and could be inequality. So you need to get your variables on one side, numbers on the other. It doesn't really matter, but once you take your variables to one side, your numbers need to go to the other. If you like to keep things positive, find the biggest coefficient of a variable and bring them to that side, but there's no real set rule that you have to do in any certain way. Just show your steps so we know what you're doing. So to start this one, let's say I'm going to bring my variables to the left, so I would need to subtract 8p from each side. And you don't have to deal with your variables first, you want to deal with your numbers first, that's fine. But it's probably a good idea kind of to get a pattern that you're going to use. So this is going to give me negative 2 plus 10p minus 8p would be 2p equals negative 1, so please don't lose that sign. So now, to get rid of the negative 2, I'm going to need to add 2 to each side. I get 2p equals negative 1 plus 2 would be 1. Last step, divide by 2, and just keep it as that fraction, 1/2. So 1/2 would be your answer. Now, many other ways that you can start, but if you do everything right, you should end up with the same answer. So if you like to do it a different way, that's fine. Just show your steps so we know what you're doing. Alright, in this one we're going to have to distribute first. So distributing the 4, we're going to get 8x minus 32. Here we're going to distribute the 1/7. So 1/7 of 49 is 7x, plus 1/7 of 70 is 10. Now it's very similar to the last problem. I'm going to choose to subtract 7x. You could choose to do something different. There's really 4 different steps you could use here. I don't usually put the 1 in front, so just x minus 32 equal 10. So I would need to add 32 to each side and get x equals 42. And notice we do work down the paper, so don't really work across your paper, so you can't go through and just number them all. You need to just do one problem at a time because it's going to take several lines for a problem. So make sure you work down, and some teachers want you to keep your equal sign in line. If you notice, mine is not in line here. Here it's pretty good, but then it comes sideways, so I don't really care a lot about that. Right, on this one, on the right side we need to distribute, so we're just going to leave the left side alone. 2y plus 5 equals, distributing, I get 5y minus 35 minus 3y. Now there's a couple of things you can do, but I like to do what I call simplifying, which means I just simplify. Look at each side and see if there's some math I can do. Well, again, on the left there's nothing I can do, but on the right I can say 5y minus 3y is 2y minus 35. Now, it's not necessary to do that, but I think it's helpful. So now I'm going to subtract 2y from each side, and something happens here. I get 5 equals negative 35. So I get a statement, my variable disappeared, subtracted away, and I get a number sentence. So what can you tell me about this? Is it true or false? Is 5 equal to negative 35? Well, no, it is not. That is false. So when you get a false statement like that, the answer is there is no solution. Okay, no solution. And if you're going to use that symbol, please make sure excuse me, that you understand that it means no solution. So, and you might actually notice it right here. How can 2y, which we have on each side, add 5 and subtract 35? How could you get the same thing if you're doing that to each one? So, get a false statement, no solution. Alright, again, we need to distribute here. So when we distribute, we're going to get 3x plus 3 minus 5 equal 3x minus 2. Again, I'm going to simplify on the left. Positive 3 minus 5 is going to be 3x minus 2 equal 3x minus 2. I'm going to subtract 3x from each side, and I get negative 2 equal negative 2. So here, the variable did disappear again, but we get a true sentence. So that case, it's called the identity is what it's called, but don't use that if you don't know what it means, and it means really all numbers are solutions. So any number that you choose, so I just want you to probably write all numbers. So hopefully you will understand that. Alright, fractions, different ways we can do this. We can work with the fractions, or we can get rid of the fractions. For many of you, I would suggest getting rid of the fractions because you're not great at working with fractions, but I don't really care which way you do it. I am going to show you how to get rid of the fractions. So look at your denominators and say, what is the common denominator? Well, 4 and 3 both go into 12. So I am going to multiply every term here by 12. I kind of write it up here because remember, it's really 12 over 1 that I'm multiplying by. So think of this as over 1, and we're going to do our canceling. 4 goes in there once, There are 3 times. I'm going to list with 3 times 1x all over 1, so I just got rid of my fraction, leaving me 3x. Here, 3 goes in there once, and there 4 times, so 4 times 2 would be minus 8, equals, 3 goes in there 4 times, 4x, and goes in there 3 times, plus 9. So now it's a pretty basic problem. I would like to subtract 3x, because I want to keep my number in front of my variable positive, so I get negative 8 equals x. Again, I don't usually write the one plus 9, so we need a minus 9 from each side. Get negative 17 equal x. Again, we must define our variable, write an equation, and solve. The sum of the ages of the Kruger sisters is 39. Their ages can be represented as 3 consecutive integers. What is the age of the middle sister? So we must define our variable. Again, I use x most of the time. X is going to be the age of youngest sister, or first sister. Let's just put first sister. Well, they're consecutive integers. That means one right after the other, so it will be the age of the second one. X plus 1 would be the age of second sister. And x plus 2 would be the age of the third sister. Their sum, so x plus 1 plus x plus 2 equal 39. Simplifying, 3x plus 3 equal 39. Subtract 3 from each side. Run out of room here, so I'll kind of come over here. Get 3x equal 36. Divide by 3. X equals 12. The question says, what is the age of the middle sister? So the middle sister would be right here. 13 years old would be our answer.